Oh, it's us. We're here. Hi guys. Welcome for chapter 3 of All We've Lost. Does anyone want to attempt? Actually, we'll do intros first. Jay.
Hi. You can hear me this time.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's great.
Hi, I'm Jay. I play Eilif Sanse, a fighter, just kind of going along, doing their job. They got paid for this, and they got new boots, so no fucking trench foot. You can find me, the character, on social media, the player on social media, as at TheYellowCubes on everything, and I think I'm gonna start streaming for the King too, so come and hang out and watch me play that.
Guys, make sure to go give Jay a cheeky little follow. Mournian.
Hello, my name is Mournian. I play Moth, a lovely little bard boy who's had a little bit of a traumatic episode last week, but we'll get into that later, I'm sure. You can typically find me in pretty much any one of these lovely people's chats when they're streaming, being a general nuisance. And that's about the only place.
Joel.
It's Nick. That's mine.
Bones.
Hi, it's me, LittleBones309. I'm your favorite indie gamer here on Twitch.tv, who plays TTRPGs all around the web with all of my friends. And over here, I play Oleyna, your favorite con artist, courtesan. She is now a kept woman by a well-to-do lord. We'll see how loyal she is to him. She's not. And she's an absolute babe and very soft and squishy, so I'm a little bit nervous about today.
It'll be fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen, ever.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Myriad. This is my channel, so if you're here, perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. I usually stream video games. We're currently making our way through the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, as well as doing some Baldur's Gate and a couple of other games here on the side. And then Saturdays we play D&D. So welcome on in. This is All We've Lost, Volume 1, Chapter 3. Does anyone want to attempt a recap? And I need to give you something better than an inspo, because obviously we are inundated with inspo. So if anyone has anything in particular that they would like for a recap, let me know.
I can do the recap.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So last session, we got back from... we went back to Comdov and we spoke with Lord Aelin, who Oleyna then proceeded to flirt with. Classic Oleyna. We got a reward, and then we set off to find out about this treasure, this temple thing that we have found. The party went and had a meal, took care of some shopping, of course, and split ways for the evening. Oleyna then took Moss and Eilif to the local brothel, the Ladies' Embrace, and Neck went and fucked off and did his own thing because he is a virgin. He then received a letter from his wife, and he got a little emotional about that. That was very emotional. Prior to that, we did meet a little Kenku. Well, Moss met a Kenku. They had a little bard off. It was very nice, cute moment. And got some clues about the whereabouts of his mother. Upon arriving to the Ladies' Embrace, Moss did find out a little bit more about his mother, that she had been there previously, some years back. And Oleyna proceeded to just do what Oleyna does best, and she fucks. And now they have set off towards the temple. They're there now, but after receiving some warnings about it, that a druid might be there setting traps, they encountered the druid. She was very cute, and she does not want them going to this temple. I think the party basically said, "Go away, little girl. These are grown-ups doing grown-up things," and we have now ended their entering the temple.
Yes. Some other things of note. Mournian, aka Moss, had quite an emotional episode last week, where he heard not only the voice of his missing mother, but of his father too, who we are first hearing mention of. And we also met another member of the Ring of Ash, which is the local mercenary group, who Eilif seems to be quite familiar with, though she is very tight-lipped about it, Saris, who she, I believe, said is her boss. So everyone can make whatever assumptions they want from that. And I think I'm actually going to take a page out of Jay's book, and I'm going to give you a nat 20 to use at any point during this session.
Yeah, I need that. Ooh, I need that bad.
For that recap. Okay, guys. We had left off with you venturing into the temple, correct?
We were beginning to
Yes.
walk in.
Okay. So as the group ventures, you see a large archway. You go in.
Before we go in, Oleyna would like to check for traps.
Go for it.
Does seem rather ominous.
I would like to use one of my advantages.
Yeah, go. Yeah. I mean, you could definitely use like one of them, you know.
Thank God, I got a nat 20 on the second roll.
So, in a very similar fashion, to the traps that you know the druid had left, there seems to be other traps that had been set off and actually set up and set off. So you see little remnants of like a tripwire, but it seems to have already gone off. You think that maybe there might have been some sort of like minor explosion rig to it, based off of there seems to be some soot on either side where the tripwire is. So you're thinking maybe there was like a little minor explosion that went off. Nothing that would have structurally done anything, but enough to maybe ward someone away from this area.
Okay. Oleyna's gonna look at the party and say, it might be best if perhaps we take a lighted foot in our attempt to traverse this temple.
So as you venture through the archway to what could only have been the lobby of the temple, please make an investigation check. Or history.
I am proficient in history, I think.
Yeah, go for it.
I believe I am. I am. Okay. It's not great. It's a 12.
Okay.
16.
Mournian. Okay. Mournian got a 1.
Sorry.
Neck.
15.
So, Eilif and Neck, this is... You've been to temples before, for, you know, if you have a respective god that you worship, or passing through the various towns. Dunbrig is sort of filled with temples, Neck. This temple's very, very small. It's kind of weird. And this is not a temple you've ever heard of. A lot of the temples are well known throughout Tirfian, for the varying gods, for the keeper, the matron, the curator. All of them are well known and plotted out for a temple to be set up. And this does seem to be maybe some place of reverence, some place of worship. But for what person, deity, you're not sure. But as you go in further into the lobby, there's small alcoves on the wall on either side that likely once were where offerings were placed. Though again, it's hard to tell exactly who might have been worshipped here, due to time washing away a lot of the motifs around the temple. And I would say that Eilif and Neck, just from kind of looking around, the motifs around here aren't ones that you would associate with any of the gods from the pantheon. You venture further in.
I was gonna ask, would having a history check have changed that?
No.
Before we venture, I'd like to go ahead and just start stealthing.
Mhm.
She's sneaking. You want me to roll for it?
Yes, is everyone else going to be sneaking?
No.
Moss will be sneaking.
Okay.
No.
Then I will have
Alright.
both Moss and Eilif roll a little sneak.
You know, Oleyna?
Yeah.
I got a 15 on the die. What's my stealth? 19 total.
Okay.
I'm
Moss.
16 total.
Okay.
I am
You
Shadow.
guys, you are. I imagine that both Eilif and Neck are probably taking the lead, and Moss and Oleyna are maybe hanging back and trailing behind.
I imagine Oleyna is kind of like a little bit behind, but to the side and sort of staying to the shadows. I like my mental image is that she kind of like steps back and is like absorbed by any darkness.
Okay, definitely. Because you do have the two tanky fighters and Paladin ahead of you, who are not sneaking. They're clanking away. You see, as you go into the lobby, there is a set of stairs. It's not like a full set of stairs. It's more like a half stairs that leads down, just like a half level. And this looks to be the temple's inner sanctum. It's kind of partially hidden behind a collapsed archway. Would you like to move in? What would you like to do?
I mean, I'd probably just go in.
Okay. You can easily traverse around the archway that seems to have been collapsed. It doesn't seem like this was caused by anything other than time.
Can I like look around to see if there is any like evidence of like fighting or an attack or some sort of like explosion, just anything that would be
Yeah, go ahead.
ominous?
Investigation.
Right. That is going to be a 17.
Okay. So as you're looking around, it doesn't seem like there was a fighting, but there's definitely been movement in this area. Probably not in recent years. You kind of see there have been, it looks like sort of drag marks, as though something heavy might have been dragged away. A couple of things, actually. So you're suspecting that what Lacken had told you about this place being picked through years ago was likely true. There had been probably groups that came through here, and you're noticing that the temple it's rather empty. Anything that's not like 1,000 pounds or like bolted to the walls essentially is still there, but there's nothing else. There's no furniture. When you looked into the alcoves, there was no sort of offerings, and that's clearly where the offerings would have been. There's no like small vases or small statues around. So you're suspecting that, yeah, what Lacken had said is true. Like this place has been picked clean.
Okay. Is there tiles on the floor? Like
it's more like stone blocks.
okay. Then I will tell Neck. We might want to keep track of the like stone on the ground. Since everything has been picked through, maybe the only thing they didn't take was any sigils on the floor.
I'll keep an eye out.
As you all, I'm assuming all of you, correct me if I'm wrong, as you all venture into the temple's inner sanctum, at the center stands what likely was an intricately carved statue. And this is something you're probably assuming that if someone had come in here to rob this place, they were unable to move this. And they probably would have wanted to, because this seems to be made of maybe some sort of marble, some sort of precious material. And the statue is of a seemingly human woman posed as though frozen in time, holding a book. The years have not been kind to this statue, as there are cracks and chunks missing, but you can tell it had been crafted with care, and whoever this woman was, she was quite beautiful.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Is it an actual book or is it like a...
It's a carving of a book.
Can Moss do two things? One, I would like to kind of try to study the face. I don't know if it's in a situation where I can actually see if it's someone he would recognize from history or from anything like that. And two, after that, can I check and see if there's anything magical about the statue itself?
Okay. So I will not have you roll a history check, because you actually, have you been to Dunbreak before?
Moss has not, no.
Then you would not recognize this this person, this whoever this is. And then I can have you roll me an Arcana check.
15.
You're sensing some sort of magic, illusionary magic, perhaps, but it's not really centered on the statue itself. It's actually centered on the plaque below it.
I'll kind of, seeing Eilif and Neck kind of looking at it, I'll somewhat emerge from the shadows. Take a closer look at the plaque. It seems to be emanating some sort of magic.
I look at the plaque.
So the small plaque at the bottom, it's barely legible, but you can make out the name Aedwin carved onto it. And at this point, everyone can make me a history check.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
I have an 11.
13.
I'm gonna use an inspiration.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 12.
Okay. So Oleyna, funnily enough, you're actually the only one who knows who this woman is. This was the first queen. She is the one whose bloodline has sat the throne for hundreds of years, whose bloodline still sits the throne in the form of the twin queens currently. And Neck and Eilif, roll me another history check.
This is gonna be a
Nat
nat
20.
20.
For
Okay.
22.
So both of you have been to Dunbreak before, and you know that there are quite a few memorials throughout Dunbreak for this woman, Aedwin, the first queen, the first of the nation. And it's odd that in this ruined temple that looks like it should be dedicated to a god, there is a statue of the woman who founded the country. And you also still have to try to discern what sort of magic is currently affecting the plaque and how to get rid of it.
Like-
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like, I'm about to just hit this thing with my hammer. Do you guys have any idea how to?
Not seeing that, Oleyna would probably step out of the shadows and say, maybe don't do that if it's magical. But perhaps that's not the best idea. Moss, do you know what type of magic this might be?
I did tell you it was illusion magic.
Yeah, illusionary. It is illusionary magic.
Huh, I'm curious. Why would there be illusionary magic on a plaque?
Possibly to hide something.
Well, what is it hiding is the question, and...
Is it just the name?
Well, Excuse me. All that's on the plaque is just the name Aidwin.
Dedication. Or maybe a title? So that usually how those go, like Queen blank of blank whom blank.
Can I
Like
reach
honorifics.
down? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Can I reach down and try to touch the plaque?
Yeah.
Anything occur?
Make me a dex check. I'm kidding.
I was about
As
to.
you reach down to and touch the plaque, it's like the illusionary magic sort of dissipates like into a little cloud of fine particles. And in glowing runes on the plaque is a riddle.
Oh, it appears there's a riddle here.
What does it
You-
say, Moss? I love riddles.
One moment, I think I'll tell you shortly.
You heard me before, yet you hear me again. Then I die till you call me again.
I believe. Is that an echo?
As you say echo, the grind of stone against stone reverberates through the chamber as the statue slides back, revealing a spiraling staircase into darkness below.
Something tells me it was an echo.
Amazing. Curious. I wonder what is down there.
I don't know, but I would like to not be the first one to find out. And he'll look back to Neck and Eilif.
Neck, dear, wouldn't you like to go discover more secrets and knowledge?
Fine. I'll saunter out. Start progressing down.
Make me a dex
I will
check.
follow behind.
I will not follow behind as I heard the
Just
word
a-
deck check.
Just a straight dex check.
Yeah, it's saving throw.
Nat 20,
Oh.
so 23.
Okay. As you press the first step on going down, there's a loose stone that sinks down, and you hear a click. As that happens, let me actually roll for this.
Oh, I believe I should have been the first one to go and check for traps. Not good.
Now we know.
Neck, you take 7 piercing damage as darts launched from the walls at you.
I flick them out, and I just keep walking.
Wait, Neck. What if? Hear me out, darling. Wait before you go.
You said knowledge and secrets.
Right. But we can get there together. Let me go ahead of you. You have to stay very close behind me, and I will check our traps along the way. That way, this doesn't happen again. Great. Just have your sword out, just in case something jumps out at me. I don't like that. And
He puts away his sword and he pulls out the warhammer.
Sure, that's fine. Okay. Oleyna's gonna step ahead of him and start descending, but as she descends, she's checking for traps along the way.
Okay, make me 3 investigation rolls.
I'm gonna use an advantage on all of them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a 13 plus investigate 1, so 14.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 16 plus 1 is 17.
Mhm.
And then a 13 plus 1 is 14.
Okay. So the one after the first one that Neck had activated, you see again another step that has a loose stone that would press down. So you obviously ward the other about that. The second one is because this is you're basically going down into an enclosed staircase.
Right.
And it looks like there is another stone on your left. Maybe as though if someone were trying to keep their balance as they're walking down, they might press that stone. And you kind of look above you, and there is it looks like spikes that are up into the ceiling. So you can imagine what would happen if you press that.
Yep.
And then the last one is another loose stone. It's actually sort of the entirety of the exit way from the stairwell. There's a loose stone that you're going to have to hop over. I'm not making you make an athletics check or anything to hop over a 4-inch stone. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Okay. As they descend Oleyna, sort of each trap they come across, she'll sort of put her hand up and point it out, but she's trying to be quiet and sort of mouth these things because she does not know what is going to meet them at the bottom of these stairs.
I will say you can make a perception check for me. Actually, all of you may make a perception check.
21.
I don't see shit. I got a 2.
15.
21.
So everyone, Eilif, you're probably very distracted trying to make sure that you're remembering where Oleyna has told you to not step and not touch. But everyone else, it is eerily quiet in these, as you're descending. It doesn't seem like there's probably anything down here. And given the fact that this chamber seems to have been sealed for a great many years, if anything was down here, it's likely dead now. But as you descend, you get that murky smell of an underground cavern that fills your senses, moldy and damp, and the air is stale. And like I said, it's obvious that this entrance has not been opened in probably decades, if not centuries. And when you reach the bottom, you're met with a rather small room, dimly lit by dwindling flames of an arcane blue. At the center of the room is a large, ornate mirror, dusty with spiderwebs hanging from it, signifying it's been down here for quite some time. What would you like to do?
Are there any, like, books?
Nope, it's like a small square room, and there are maybe 3 torches on either wall to the side of you that are glowing a dim arcane blue, and then at the center of the room is this mirror. There's nothing else down here.
I'd like to approach the mirror.
Okay.
And look at its reflection.
You look into the reflection of the mirror, and it is not your own. That is staring back at you. As you look into the mirror, you look in, and there seems to be a rather large room with an altar of some kind in the middle of it. Behind the altar lies 2 large stained glass windows. But you had expected to see your reflection with the group looking back at you, and instead it's a completely different image.
Can I touch the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
And just stick my hand out.
Your hand goes through the mirror.
Oh, I jerk my hand back. This is curious. This is weird. This is a bit weird that I've found.
What seems to be the issue?
Moss, come here. Come look.
Okay. Moss will kind of walk over and look into the mirror.
And she's going to take Moss's hand and make him touch through the mirror.
His hand goes like right through the mirror.
Moss won't immediately jerk his hand out. He's trying to see, can he discern any difference in temperature, or does he feel any wind blowing? Anything that he could discern just from putting his hand through?
Give me what's like a feel skills? Maybe perception?
Sure. 18.
It seems colder in here. It's so cold in here. In the room that you're in currently, it's got that musty, dewy, like humid sort of air, because you're so close to the water. But here, it's cold.
Feels very cold on the opposite side. When he looks into the mirror, what does he see?
So like you see it's a large room, rather large room. It'd be like 30 by 60 maybe, you're thinking. Much bigger than the room that you're in. And straight ahead of you is some sort of altar. You can't see what's on the altar. There's pillars that line the columns that line the sides of the room, and then at the end are 2 stained glass windows. The windows don't have any sort of no sort of like art or motifs on them. It just seems to be random colored glass that have been melted together.
Is there any light emanating from inside the room from outside the stained glass?
There's some sort of reddish light that seems to be, but you're not actually sure. But if the light coming in is red, or if it's only red because of the stained glass, but there is some sort of light coming in from the glass.
Nick.
Do what? Be mad? Oh, go for it.
Oh, sorry. I was going to actually call for Nick and Eilif to come over if they're not there.
I mean, I'm at least right next to the mirror.
I was looking at the flames.
Can
blue.
someone take my hand, and if I squeeze it, pull very hard?
Nick will look at Eilif.
All right, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll like grab Moss's hand.
Moss is going to attempt to stick his head into the mirror.
Okay. Nothing happens. You stick your head through the mirror, and you're in a different room. Instead of just it being like sort of like almost like an image, you stick your head through, and you can look around and see the image that had been reflected in the mirror now before you.
He's going to slowly pull his head back out.
How do you pull your head back out?
Oh, I don't know how to answer that question. Slowly?
Okay. Like same way you put it in?
Yeah.
I don't like that questioning. I don't like that line of questioning at all. That's. What do you mean? What do you mean how?
If he makes it back out, when he pulls his head back out, he would like to say something. Does he make it back out?
Yeah.
Well, that seemed totally normal, specifically the part where I pulled my head back out. But it's the same room, but it's some sort of portal. Like, I feel like I could step through this mirror into that, but I don't know if we do that if we can get back out.
All right. I'm just gonna make sure I have all my weapons, and I go. Is anyone opposed to me going in there?
Do we have rope? Wait a second before we go inside. Does anybody have any rope?
I can huck a rock in there to see if like it stays there.
Well, more so getting you back out is the question.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Does anybody have any rope then?
Yeah. Take
Okay.
some out of my backpack.
Then Oleyna will grab it and sort of tie it around your waist with a nice cinch.
Oh god.
And
Oh,
I just don't want you to lose. I don't want to lose you. You are
I'm
my
not-
employee.
I forgot how bad tightening like this was. Oh god. Right.
It's not that tight. Christ.
I don't like things that.
I feel like your two
Skin.
definitions of tight would be different.
You.
She's fine.
Um,
And then Oleyna's gonna hand the rest of the length of the rope to Neck. I'm very weak, you know.
Yeah.
So you can pull Eilif back in. You will pull Eilif back in, correct?
He'll grab the rope.
Okay, good. You would.
love this for
I
us.
imagine you're a man with morals and scruples, and it would be quite immoral for you to just leave our poor Eilif on the other side.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go through before he starts questioning.
Yeah,
Whoa.
his morals, right. Yes, probably for the best. Thank you. Good luck, Eilif. We'll be watching.
All right. And I will walk in to the
Eilif,
I guess
you-
go in here.
You walk through the portal, and you are standing in the room. The altar is. Actually, you guys can pull up the map if you want.
I want to. I'm scared.
The altar is I don't know why there's 2 maps on the on this in Owlbear, but that's fine. The altar is 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually quite more of a distance than you thought it was. It seems like the mirror had probably shortened how long you thought the room was.
Okay.
So it seems to be like double in length. So yeah, the altar is a fair distance away from you, and there are torches that line the walls, glowing an orange instead of like that arcane blue. Objects in mirror are far. Yes, exactly. One of the pillars, actually 2 of the pillars seem to be, have fallen into rubble. There's some broken vases. Are those bones over there? You're like, oh, that's weird. What do you do?
DM, I have a question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
What size are the bones?
They're very little. There's actually 309 of them.
Amazing.
Love that. Okay. I mean, I'm in here. I don't remember how much rope I gave them. I think I gave them the whole like 50.
Okay.
Yeah, the 50 feet of rope. So, I guess I can try to check for traps or something around here.
I have put you on the map.
Yippee! So I'm gonna try to go like right here.
Uh-huh.
And like look around each section. Like the pillars are in sections.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to check each section. See what's up.
Roll me an investigation check. We'll just do a kind of broad investigation check.
That's gonna be a 16.
Besides the rocks and rubble and the broken vase and stuff and the bodies that you could see in the distance past the altar, nothing seems to be out of sorts here. There doesn't seem to be any sort of traps. There's no tripwire, no sort of loose stones that might denote a trap hidden. You look up at the ceiling and it's kind of a high vaulted ceiling. But there's no like great axe that looks like it's about to swing down and decapitate you. So that is comforting in that manner. But nothing else. Nothing that you can discern. No sort of traps.
All right. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to give them like a thumbs up.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep going.
Okay. Can we see her through the mirror?
Yep.
Like,
you see her walking.
Her head through, just in the mirror? Okay.
Before she progresses, I'm like try and leave. Like try and come back out.
You can't hear.
Okay.
You cannot hear them.
Okay. Are you like pointing this way? Okay. I'll go back and try to go back through.
So you try to walk through the mirror?
Yeah.
You cannot pass through it.
I'll look at them and I'll be like,
I'll try.
is it like solid?
Yeah, it's like a...
Can I take my blade and like try to push it in?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't break the mirror.
Does my hand go through?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'll pull my sword back out.
I don't know how to describe this, but Oleyna is going to try and like mime to Eilif to walk back the way that she came in. Like walk backwards, back like the way you came in.
Do a performance check, Oleyna.
Oh, easy.
And
Easy.
Eilif, do an insight check.
Okay. I'm dumb as bricks, so I apologize in advance. That's a D12 again.
14 plus 8 is 22?
22.
Yeah.
It's going to be 12.
My performance is so good.
Oleyna, you are doing like you have it. Like any other person would absolutely know what you're trying to say. You would win any fucking game of charades if Eilif wasn't your partner. Eilif,
like,
you're like looking like what? She's like
moonwalking,
walking backwards. Yeah, like, but you're not quite getting it.
I'm just like, I think she's like dancing, so I'm just like, I don't. I don't know what's happening.
Oleyna's looking at Eilif like, what The fuck?
Backwards.
Can
I do another insight check to like make out the words she's saying.
Backwards.
I'm gonna give it to you just because that was really fucking funny. You're understanding now that Oleyna is telling you to walk backwards.
Okay. I'll walk backward. The same way I came in.
The exact same way that you came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I hit a wall?
No, you walk right through the mirror. Out the other side.
Okay. I'm gonna look at her and go, why were you dancing?
I was mimicking!
You were doing this! I don't know what that means!
That's how you walked in, darling. I just was doing it in reverse.
Okay, well, turns out you can only go in the same way you can come out. The same way you came in.
Okay.
It's
Right.
very scary.
Interesting. What if
We all want to go in now?
Sure.
I was gonna ask, what did it smell like the same in there? Did it smell like outside?
This, like, the current room that you're in, so it's mildewy, musty, like, you can kind of smell the salt from the lock. That room was different. The air was still stale, but it didn't have that same sort of moldy kind of smell that this room has. So it's whatever this, actually make me an Arcana check. All of you.
Make me.
Make me an Arcana check.
I got 17.
I got an 8.
Smart.
Just 8.
14.
9.
So it is going to be Eilif and Moss. Moff. Eilif and Moss. You have heard tales, mostly like fairy tales, childhood tales, of mirrors being portals to different places, mirrors being used as portals to travel great distances, mirrors being portals to pocket dimensions. Wherever this area is that's through the mirror, you're kind of you're guessing that it's not anywhere to where you actually are right now. It's not close.
Upon thinking this, Moss is going to remember what the bird told him about his mother not being on the same general plane, or possibly. And Moss is just going to walk through the portal.
Okay.
Oleyna's gonna sigh and she's going to follow Moss, but she walks through very specifically. She's gonna walk out like T-posing, so it's like an easy way for her to remember
Yeah.
how she got in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like big, it looks ridiculous, especially Oleyna doing it. It's this very like graceful and like easy moving creature, and she walks very like robotically and like big long strides, and then as she goes in through the portal.
Okay. Perfect. You all enter through the portal?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do?
Oleyna's gonna go towards that altar. She's very curious.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the bones.
Assuming that's a carpet, I wanted to look under it.
And Moss
It
is
is a
just going to
carpet,
begin.
yes.
Moss is just kind of going to begin looking everywhere for anything that he think might look familiar.
Okay. So once you reach the edge of the carpet, Eilif, do you look under it?
Yeah, I want to like lift it or like move it. I want to see what's under it.
A spider crawls out.
I want to pick it up.
You can pick it up.
Is it cute?
I am taking it.
It's like a little,
I
like,
don't
kind
know.
of like a little daddy long leg.
Oh my god.
Nice, very
Oh
cute.
my god, he's so fucking cute. Okay, yeah, I'm just
He
gonna...
does a little,
scuffle
like,
him.
wave with his little arms.
Oh my god, can we keep him?
He's a
I'm just gonna
spider.
hold
He
him
doesn't have
and
free
just-
will if you don't give it to him.
was kind of
Gonna
sad,
dance
but
along with him.
he's,
He's just a guy.
it's our pet spider now. Sorry.
I guess I'll just
He-
put him on my shoulder. If he wants to leave, he can. But
He crawls underneath your hair and starts.
all right,
You just feel little tickles on your neck.
all right. Well, I'm gonna be taken over by a spider.
But other than that, nothing really underneath the carpet. Dust,
Okay, I just want to
dirt.
make sure there was no like pressure plate.
Nothing weird. Everyone else, please let me know where you are going. Move yourself on the map.
The bones.
Okay.
I also wanted to go to the bonus.
This
Please
is the
move
altar.
your allotted amount of speed, by the way.
Oh, okay. Hold on. What's my speed? 30. Okay, gotta measure. Okay, so Lenya's gonna go there.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Are we turn basing?
I'm allowing you to use your movement right now.
Can I double move?
I'm gonna stay right here, actually.
Did you move your character?
Yes.
Huh?
Oh, I didn't. I'm on
Yeah,
the
there's
wrong
two
thing.
maps. Go on the top one.
Yeah, I see that now.
But that was my bad.
Olenya's gonna move here.
Okay. Eilif, as soon as you kind of pass the threshold of the carpet, and you move towards the altar, the only warning you get is a brief thrum of the stained glass panes behind the altar before, with a crash, they shatter. The shards of the glass swirling in the air, reforming, shaping into constructs, and before you stand two sentinels of glass, glittering and deadly. This is going to be a surprise round for you. And I'm going to also have you roll initiative right now.
Okay. I'm shitting myself.
I got a
Pissing,
12.
crying.
Shitting, pissing, crying. It's gonna be a 14.
Nat 20, so 23.
Jeez, you're just killing it with the 20s tonight.
19 for Moth.
Who got the 14?
Hey, look,
Me.
good.
Oleyna. I don't know why I wanted to spell Oleyna with a Q, like instead of an O. Very bizarre.
I kind of like it though.
Counter, and then so they're going to get. All right. So I am going to place them here. Creatures are they? They're just medium. So they land in a heap and the glass reconstructs and forms. And they are going to move their movement speed. Actually, they're going to dash. So they're going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So they're going to be standing on either side of the altar, having moved up towards you. And Neck, it's your turn.
One sec, I'm looking. I will give myself Shield of Faith.
Okay, and what does that do?
Gives me +2 to AC.
Okay.
And then I will move 5 and 30. I'll dash.
Mm-hmm.
Move there. That's my turn.
Okay, Moss.
All right. Moss is going to kind of take a few steps forward here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he is going to cast Earth Tremor.
Mm-hmm.
So let me. All right, so it's only a 10-foot circle. This this dude here needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Just gonna name that one Golem 1 and this one Golem 2 for ease. Dexterity, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, that's not very good. I have advantages though. Nat 20.
All right, he doesn't take damage and he isn't knocked prone, but the 10-foot area around him is now difficult terrain.
Okay. Is that all for you?
I will cast inspiration on Eilif.
Okay, and then do you want to explain how your inspiration works with your subclass?
Yes. So when I give you inspiration, essentially, right now you get a D6, I believe. Let me pull it back up. So you get a D6. When you use my inspirations, you can roll the dice once, and then you can gamble. If you roll the dice a second time and you roll higher than you did the first time, you get both dice rolls. So if you roll a 3 and then a 4, then you can add 7. But if you roll a 3 and then a 2, you add nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just roll it once and take the 1. But the second one has to be higher.
Okay. And you gave that to who?
Eilif.
Okay. And it's Eilif's turn now.
Okay. So 10 feet around it is difficult terrain, correct?
Yes.
It's about that radius. Crap. 15, 20, 30. That's close as I can get.
You can get closer. It's just
Well, if it's difficult terrain,
If it's-
movement's doubled.
your movement's
So-
doubled. So
Yeah.
it will take 40 feet to get where you were.
Would it be? Oh yeah, because that's a 10-foot radius. So it would be. Let me double make sure that that's my speed. Yeah. Okay. There's not much I can do from here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna huck a hand axe at him, I guess.
Okay.
He's made of glass, so I'm kind of hoping. 19?
19 will hit.
Okay. That's gonna be 6.
Okay.
And then I don't have a secondary action. So I guess I'm just gonna pass, and that's it for me.
Okay. So it is now the golem's turn. And I need Eilif and Neck to make me a Constitution saving throw.
I'll use one of my hits.
Yeah. It's gonna be a 21.
Okay.
9.
So in a magical array of dancing lights, Neck, you are suddenly blinded.
This one's for all my baby girls. I see your comments, ladies, and they make me smile.
Thanks, creep. Neck, you are blinded. And Eilif, you manage just in time as you see the little crackle of light begin to spark from the golem in front of you. You shield your eyes just in time. And you are not blinded. But golem number 1 is going to go. They can still move, correct, Moss? Okay.
Yeah, it's just they're only the one on the left. So
Yeah. So he's gonna move
His
up to
movement
you,
speed's doubled.
Eilif. And he is going to make first attack is going to be a 17 to hit. Does that hit you?
That's gonna hit.
Okay. And then that is going to be 8. That is going to be 9 slashing damage. I'm going to use an advantage on the second hit. And that is going to be a 21 on the second hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say nah.
No?
It's not though.
Okay.
No,
What are you using?
that's- I don't think I have it yet, so you're just gonna hit.
Okay. Only 2 slashing damage.
Okay.
And what does blinded do? Okay, so
It blinds you.
it
You have
blinds you.
advantage against
I have
me.
advantage. Okay, so I
He
actually
has
don't have to use an
disadvantage.
advantage. So that is going to be a 13 does not hit you, correct? Neck.
Correct.
Oh my god, 12. I rolled a 3 and a 6.
Rough.
So even blinded, golem number 2 seems to not be able to touch Neck. And we are on to Oleyna.
Oleyna's going to use Fairy Fire, but I'm going to tell you very specifically where I want it. I'd like... Oh, I don't want to move him. I'd like to put it... So I'm gonna center it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I should be able to hit both of them without hitting... Oh, I will hit Eilif. Then I want to put it back.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I want to put it right there then. Right
Okay.
here. So I should be able to hit both of them. Yes.
Yes.
And that's... Yes, barely. Okay. I will need to move up before I do that, though. So I'm going to move 10 feet. Okay, right there.
Okay.
And that should be my turn. It's a dex saving throw for you.
All right.
With a DC of 12.
So golem number 1 succeeds, golem number 2 fails. And what does that mean for them?
That means that well, first of all, they're outlined in purple. And now any attack rolls against them is done with advantage.
Okay, so anyone attacking golem number 2 has advantage.
Correct. And if they go into hiding or
Mhm.
cover, obviously they don't have advantage to attack them. But as long as they are visible, yes.
And that is it, you said?
That's all I can do right now. That's a full turn action.
Okie dokie. We're back up to the top of the order with Neck.
So being blind. I mean, so I have disadvantage. Do I get advantage of the
I
fairy
think
fire?
it evens it out. I think
Yeah,
it's a
you'll
straight
roll
Okay.
straight, yeah.
I just want to make sure because I'm blind, so I wouldn't be able to see the outline.
I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
Okay. And then I will.
It's like a weird, so even though you're blinded, your vision is kind of white and blurry from, it's like that when you first get flashed with a bright light. But because of the fairy fire, you see the purple outline of what Oleyna had cast. And that's how you're able to sort of determine where it is.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack him, and I'm going to use inspo for
Okay.
advantage. Nat 20.
Okay.
So. $15 damage.
Okay, so that's 15 damage. Roll me a percentile dice.
16.
Please roll me. What kind of damage is this?
Bludgeoning.
Please roll me a D8 and a D12 and add them together.
Four.
So you swing down on him with your I'm assuming your hammer, correct?
Yeah.
And you basically take off its kneecap, and now its speed is reduced by 5 feet, and it has fallen prone in front of you.
Also, my bad. Can you add 2 more damage points to the damage?
So
I
it's
read the wrong
17.
number. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So now this golem number 2 is prone in front of you. You have essentially swang on its kneecaps, and we are up to Moss.
Okay. So Moss is going to move 5, 10, 15. Right around there. And Moss will turn to Golem number 1 and cast Thunderclap.
Okay.
I need a Constitution saving throw.
Sure can do that for you. I'm going to roll with advantage. 18.
Nothing happens.
Is that a cantrip? Yeah, the problem with using cantrips. Would you like to do anything else?
Sure. We'll cast Inspiration on Neck.
Okay. So both Eilif and Neck have inspiration from Moss. Please remember that. Eilif.
Hello. Hi. Great. It's closer now, so I'm gonna use my greatsword.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna swing on him. It's a fancy little greatsword. That's going to be what is my additive? So it's gonna be 17.
17 hits.
Great. Hooray.
Woo.
Woohoo.
Also, I think that we lost Mournian.
We did.
Okay.
11, 14.
Okay.
And then can I? I'm pretty damaged. Fuck it. I'll pump 5 hit points to make that, I believe, 20? Or I'm just going to add 5 more hit points to that damage.
Okay.
I'm bleeding out, but it's okay. Is it a free bonus action to drink a potion?
Sure is.
All right, I believe I can do that. I can. So I'm gonna drink a potion, and then that'll be the end of my turn.
Okie dokie. So now it is the golem's turn. Golem number 2 is going to use its movement to get up from the prone position and is going to swing at you, Neck. It is going to be I don't think a 16 hits you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now it'll swing again. A 21 does hit, but however, right?
Just barely.
And shit, dude. That's going to be 5 slashing damage.
Sounds good.
And both of them are going to regain 10 hit points. As one of their abilities is regeneration. And golem number 1 is going to attack you, Eilif, with the first swing.
Okay.
13 is not going to hit, correct?
It is not.
Okay. Second swing's a 10, so that's not going to hit either. And we will move on to Oleyna.
I am going to go ahead and use my automatic nat 20.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw a dagger at golem number 1 that is attacking Eilif.
Okay.
And remind me what I need to do for just roll twice and then
So-
percentile.
You're going to maximize the normal damage. So what's the dagger damage?
It's a 4. It's a D4. So it's a
Okay,
4.
so it's 4, and then you're going to roll again for the crit.
It's another 4. We'll take
Okay,
it.
so that's 8 damage total.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to roll me a percentile dice.
She needs
Okay.
to add their like dex and stuff.
Hmm?
Add
Oh.
dex to a dagger.
So it's +2.
Okay.
So 10 damage.
Nice. Next roll. And then my percentile is 12.
Oh, that's actually very good. What is the damage is slashing, correct?
Is it piercing?
Oh, piercing.
For a
Yes,
dagger?
piercing. Piercing. Please roll me a D8 and a D12
Can do.
and add those together.
It's a 6 and a 7. So you do the math.
Don't ask me to do math.
13.
So you fling your dagger and it cuts into right below where you imagine this construct's eye socket would be, lodging itself in there. And it like takes a look around, and it must be able to see somehow. However, you have now embedded your dagger into it and caused it to stumble back
Outstanding.
5 feet. Actually, we're gonna go 10 feet.
I did something useful.
You did
It's difficult
great.
terrain, so would 10 feet only be 1 square back?
No, I'll say it stumbles back and then gets caught up and falls prone.
I love that for us. Good job, Oleyna. Everybody say good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Welcome
Take it
back,
to Pound
minions.
Eat 'em.
Just offered to, anyway.
Listen.
Neck, it's your turn.
I'm still blinded, correct?
Yes, it lasts a minute.
Oh, okay. And is it still outlined? I forget how long that lasts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's lasts a minute. Unless
Okay.
I break concentration.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So I'm going to use an attack. And he'll have put away the warhammer and pulled out the longsword. For 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
Eight damage.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Boss.
All right. Ba-da-ba-da. We're gonna try and look at the one that's laying prone in front of, well, column 1.
Mhm.
And we're going to unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments and cast a vicious mockery.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw. I don't have anything to use advantage on.
3.
Hey, that's 1d4 damage. So that is 3 points of psychic damage.
So as you unleash this like string of insults on it, you may have an indication that these things are constructs, and that maybe psychic damage does not really do much to it, given it's a construct.
Yeah.
Eilif.
Yes. So I'm gonna get right up to it. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Get right there.
Yep.
I didn't want to go there because I saw that there was a rock on the map, and I was like, do I have to crawl over the rock? 'Cause
It's
that
like
would be fine.
it's more like a little rock. The rock behind it is like larger, but you would be
Okay.
able to either stand on the rock or kick the rock to the side.
Do you smell
Love
what it's
that.
cooking though?
Soup,
beef
soup.
soup. That is going to be. You know what? I'm going to use a. It's not high enough for. Oh wait, that's never mind. I just didn't look at it correctly. 21.
That will definitely hit.
Okay, I just didn't look at it because I'm a silly freaking goose. 9 damage.
Okay, so that is going to be okay.
Yeah, I already drank it, so it's gone. In that case, I'm going to I'm gonna touch myself in front of everyone.
Yeah. Go on.
Just pump. What was it? I have 3 HP. Yeah, I'll just give it to myself.
Jesus.
Not a lot, but it's something. It's mine. Can't have it. And I think that should be all I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I can
So
do.
it is now going to be the golem's turn. They are going to regenerate again 10 hit points.
And I forgot, when I hit him with Vicious Mockery, Golem 1 has disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay, perfect. So Golem 1 is going to attack Eilif because Eilif is coming at him hard and strong.
I just like him.
You are very lucky that he has this. It has disadvantage because it did roll a nat 20, but 15 plus 3, 18. Does it 18 hit?
18 does hit.
Okay.
You're strong.
So that's only going to be 3 points of damage. And then its second attack is not going to hit you. Golem number 2 is going to attack Neck. Where is my...
try to.
Gonna try to. I'm
It
using
won't
an
do it.
advantage on this. That is not going to hit. Going to use another advantage on the second attack. And that is going to be cocked. Hold on. And that is also not going to hit. I'm throwing these dice away.
Garbage.
Garbage. Oleyna, it is your turn.
Okay. I am going to find Owlbear again. Okay. Can I get up there? No, I can't. I am gonna move. I'm not gonna dash. I'm gonna go here.
Mhm.
Down yonder. I don't want to lose my other dagger. There's not a whole lot I can do at the moment, so I'm just gonna say that's my turn and I'm gonna cheer everybody on.
Do you want to hold an action?
As in like a delay?
Yeah. It's not going to move you down in initiative order, but if something happens that triggers the action, you'll be able to make it.
Yeah, if the golem moves towards me within 5 feet,
Mhm.
I'll attack it. That's my
Okay.
delayed action.
Okay. We are back up at the top of the order with Neck.
It's just like fuck.
I'm coming, little buddy.
Do you say that?
No.
Well,
Don't
fuck.
say
I was
that.
gonna say I can't even see, so never mind. Strategy goes out the window. I will use another inspo.
Burn those inspos, guys.
Just to roll, normally.
But you also have my
Is
inspiration.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't
So it's
it
just
still
what to
fairy
use.
fired?
Yes.
Oh yeah. that's
Yeah, just so you know, it is still fairy fired.
And I'm gonna use that. The 17 hit.
Yes, 17 does hit. These guys don't have very high AC. They're made of glass.
That ass is glass, baby.
My bones are made of glass and my skin is made of paper. I lie awake in agony.
9 damage.
Thanks, SpongeBob.
Not enough to undo the healing that it's about to do.
It's for it's Golem number 1 is looking much more injured than Golem number 2 at this point.
That's my turn.
Okay. Eilif. No, Moss, sorry.
All right, looking at the two golems, and this one is currently, well, I can still get there. I'm gonna go 5, 10. Stand beside it. We're gonna try Thunderclap again. I get another. Can I get another Constitution saving throw?
Another one. Nat 1.
Yay!
So because
Alright.
it got a nat 1, you can double the damage.
All right, let me roll my 1d6. Don't worry, guys. That's 2 damage instead of
Okay.
1,
2 whole damage.
and that's double what it should have been. And that is Moss's turn.
Okay. Eilif, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing for a while, which is just hitting it. Oh, that's gonna be a nat 20.
Amazing.
Love that for me.
Huge!
So it's gonna
Absolutely
be
huge.
12 plus, right? 'Cause
So
we're
you're
just
going,
maxing out the
yep, so you're
damage.
maxing out the damage, and then you're rolling an additional damage die, for the crit damage.
Okay. Just because I rolled 2d6s. eh. So that's gonna be 22.
So 22 points of damage?
25, because I didn't
25.
add the +3.
Okay, hold on, I gotta do some quick math.
I had to do. Look, I get so embarrassed because I'm real bad at math.
I'm also bad at math. It's okay. Please roll me a percentage die.
Okay, I can do that. I know how to do that. 43.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to take any sort of lingering damage from that. Is that all you want to do for your turn?
How fucked up does it look?
It's looking pretty fucked up.
Like, maybe one more hit'll do it.
Maybe. It's the shards on its face of, the Oleyna's knife is still sticking out of its face. The other side of its face has begun to shatter. Its shoulder is basically caved in. You see all of the glass on the floor surrounding it, and it's hard to tell with the construct, but it's looking pretty fucked up right now.
Okay. I'm gonna hope somebody has healing, because I do believe I can pump quite a bit of damage into it. It's just a matter of how much damage I take.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna dump a 10 into it.
Okay. So what do you do?
I've never just... I mean, it comes from my sword, so, it just looks like a slash, and as, like, blood kind of trails down it, it kind of coats the already wound, and it just kind of, like, spikes out into, like, these threads of red that start to pull apart.
It pulls, like, the golem apart?
Yeah.
So as the golem gets pulled apart, you see the glass begin to shatter and shatter and shatter into smaller and smaller pieces until it is nothing but a pile of glass on the floor.
Great. Good. I'm very hurt. I'm gonna look at Maz and I'll be like, I really need, like, a potion or something. That was a bad idea.
Because you took your own hit points, right, for that?
Yeah.
So everyone else will see that Eilif had slashed herself in order to pump that extra damage into the golem that eventually brought it down. Golem number 2 is going to regenerate hit points again on this turn. And it is going to slash at neck. Does a 20 hit?
20 is my AC currently.
That hits, right?
Yeah.
Oh, oh my god, you take 3 slashing damage. My heart bleeds for you.
I got it.
Another 20 on the second hit.
Rough.
That's going to be another 3 damage. And it's going to see that its comrade has fallen, and it will move 5, 10, 15, 20. It will move in between everyone.
Do I get an attack even though I can't see it?
You'll make it a disadvantage.
Even if it's the fairy fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you then. I'm gonna use another to make it just a straight roll. $15 to hit.
That does hit.
Sucker. 9 damage.
Okay. As a bonus action, it is going to attempt to blind Eilif and Moss. Please make me a Constitution saving throw.
For no
Joke's
reason,
on
I'm going to
him.
go ahead and use this with advantage.
That's the best thing I have. 23.
Eilif, once again, you resist this blinding power ability that the golem has. Moss, however, is caught off guard by it. After seeing the golem in front of him crumble to the floor, he looks over just in time for a blinding light to pierce his little peepers. Moss, you are now blinded. And it is Oleyna's turn.
How's the golem looking?
He's looking pretty fine. Besides him limping around because his lack of a kneecap.
That's really unfortunate. For us. I don't want to move up, but I think I've got it. Oleyna's gonna move towards him. Oops. And I'm gonna whack him with my dagger, and I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 19. Oh! So a dirty +4.
Yep,
So
that
23.
hits. That hits. That more than hits. That
Yeah.
10 over hits.
It's 2 + 2, so 4. Woohoo!
Okay.
Damage is damage.
Damage is damage, baby. Anything else for your turn?
No, I can't really do anything else right now.
Okay. We are back up at the start of the round. Neck.
I mean, I heard him walk.
Yeah, I mean, you swung at him, so you know that he has left the vicinity of you.
Yeah. Would I kind of know roughly where he, went to?
He's made of glass, so it's pretty easy for you to discern that he had made his way to the south, essentially.
Okay. So can I go in his range?
Yep.
Okay. And then I will try and swing.
Go for it.
Except, it feels like the longsword is not to play while blinded, so he's going to put it away and pull out the warhammer.
Okay.
Whew. That was close. It could have been a nat 1, but instead it's a 16 to hit.
That does hit.
9 damage.
Okay. It's starting to look hurt again.
That's my turn.
Boss.
Moss is blinded, doesn't know where the dude is, and all of my spells say someone I can see. So
I'm sorry, real quick. I just realized I didn't have to use that advantage because he's still fairy fired, so I already had advantage on him.
Yeah, so you can just mark that back onto your...
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just housekeeping, sorry.
No worries.
so somewhat out of frustration, Moss is going to, well,
I'm going to say, Moss, because it is fairy fired, you do sort of see it. Like, you can see a faint outline of it because of the fairy fire, even though you are blinded in the same way that Neck had seen it.
all right, he's gonna pull out his little, the little contraption
Okay.
and click the trigger.
Pull the trigger, Piglet.
And the D6 is a 1.
Okay, what does that do?
Acid splash.
Nice, okay. That's useful.
Hey!
Big help.
We love this.
He still has to a dex saving throw.
He's actually going to make that with disadvantage because his knee. 2 8s. So that is going to be a 10.
All right, perfect. And that is 2 points of acid damage.
We'll take it.
Okay. Eilif, it's your turn.
Way from good, Eilif.
Okay. I can see. I have eyes. I'm not healed. I'm very fucked up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I look fucked up.
That's
Moss
fucked up.
Mastery.
That's
No,
fucked up.
You couldn't see.
It's okay. Well, Moss can't see. I guess only Oleyna can see that I'm fucked up.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything to help you, darling, but I can certainly cheer you on.
Hey, that helps. Yeah.
Go,
I'm gonna
Eilif.
It's fairy fired, so I do this with advantage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's a nat 20 again.
Amazing.
I'm gonna do a big poop. So then I'm going to that is 23
Damn.
plus
Okay.
3, so it's a 26.
All right.
I'm so you know what? These are gonna go on their little pedestal over here. And then how fucked up is it looking?
It's looking pretty fucked up. However, please roll me a percentile dice.
Okay. I'm getting real scared of these. That's gonna be an 80. Oh, rolled the wrong one. My bad. That's going to be a 77.
Okay, so no lingering injuries. However, it's looking really, really bad. It is going to turn to you, Eilif, and try to swing at you on its turn.
I was gonna action surge if possible.
Don't waste it.
Okay.
It rolled a 12 on the first swing
There you go, miss.
and a 8 on the second. And you would notice that it did not regenerate on this turn. Oleyna, it is your turn.
Is it Oleyna's turn already? Oh,
Yes.
God. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 16 plus 4, so dirty 20.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and... Woo! It's a 4 plus 2, so 6.
That is exactly the amount of damage that you need. How would you like to do this, Oleyna?
Oh, I'm gonna do this so cool. Okay, Oleyna's got her dagger in hand, kind of like ready to just, and she is going to sort of leap up and like mid-air swing down and puncture where she thinks a construct's heart should be, and then leap back.
So as you As you come down with your dagger straight into its chest, you see the ripples and the cracks begin to form and emanate from where your dagger had struck it. And you see the cracks forming all around it. And then after a brief pause, it shatters into nothing but a pile of broken glass at your feet.
Oleyna sort of like dusts herself off, like, yes, great, wonderful.
It was a good idea to switch to your hammer neck because the bludgeoning damage prevented it from regenerating. And the same thing for the thunder damage that Moss did to the other one. You are now out of combat. What would you like to do? Okay.
Oleyna's gonna go get her other dagger real quick. She's just gonna, she's just gonna mosey on over there. Hello, give me my dagger.
Okay.
Any idea how long this blindness may last for?
As you kind of sit down and wait for a couple of moments, literally 30 seconds longer, because obviously we were only in like 6 rounds of combat, if that. As you wait for another like 30 seconds, you rub at your eyes a little bit and everything starts to clear up, both for you and Neck.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Oleyna is gonna sort of like give a once over to Eilif. And she'll look to Moss and say, do you think you could help her? She's not looking great.
Get off for a little pick me up. And,
I'm gonna vomit my own insides out.
okay, let's not do that.
That's gross. Don't do that. Don't like gross things.
Horribly messy.
So like gross things.
Moss will cast a healing word, and you will be healed for 7 hit points.
We can rest in a bit, my dear.
So you have the altar in front of you, and you do see the skeletons and everything. What would you like to do? Sorry, Neck, go ahead.
No, he's just gonna angrily like kick Golem 2's head out of frustration.
It's like it's like a shattered clump of glass. So you do take 2 piercing damage as the glass penetrates through your boots, and you will likely need to get new boots now.
It's a little wetness in the boots.
What's some trench foot among friends?
Don't get near me.
Trenchfoot's not contagious.
It's not what they say in the trenches.
All right. So we approach the altar. I'm almost scared to ask.
Oleyna's already there. She's a curious little bean.
Yeah, Neck's like right there too.
So you approach the altar, and on it is a book of some kind. It's a thick book and a deep red, bound by some sort of metal mechanism.
Can I inspect that mechanism to see what it is, or if I can unlock it?
You can go ahead and do an investigation check.
It's a nat 20.
Oh, nice. So this is something that you've never seen before, Oleyna. It's very weird. There's no keyhole. Normally, a mechanism like this, you would be able to lockpick in some way. But there seems to be no keyhole. And you suspect that the book must be opened through some other means. You're not sure whether that's... Actually, because you got a nat 20, you think it might be through magical means. But you would know that you don't have that type of magic at your disposal.
Oleyna will look to Neck, since he seems to be also the other most curious person in this moment. I can't lockpick this. I don't have the capabilities. There seems to be some sort of magical mechanism here.
Like, I can just try and grab it.
You pick it up?
Before he does it, do I suspect this to be like a dangerous thing to touch without unlocking it first? Okay. Should we just let him pick it up?
Right before he's gonna like take a second and think about himself, and then he's gonna like heal himself a little bit, and then he's gonna try and pick it up.
Okay. How much do you heal yourself for?
15.
Okay. You go to pick it up, and feels like a book. Pretty weighty. There's no sort of demarcation on it that would kind of note it as anything in particular. You have seen a couple of spell books in the past. I would kind of akin it to maybe some sort of spell book. Could be a diary though. Who knows? Like the pages seem to be weathered. The leather of the cover is less than pristine, but that could be attributed to the age, and however old you think this place is might denote how old this book may be, if not older.
And he'll think of that as he puts it in his backpack. He's like,
Well,
"Get
now,
outta here."
before you go putting that away, shouldn't we at least know what it is?
Inspect
Do you
it.
know? Do you want to risk the contents inside if we don't know what magic binds it? What if we open it and it wipes all the words? What if?
I meant like look around it at the covers and stuff. Maybe the back.
I would say Neck had probably done a quick check of it. There's nothing. There's no wording. There's no embossing on it. Nothing on it. No name. No title. Nothing on this book. It is a simple, thick bound leather book that the leather has been stained like a red color. But besides there's nothing of note on the cover, on the back, anywhere.
Curious, does anybody here know anyone who might be able to figure this out?
I would like to look at it at some point. I haven't really had a chance to see it as of yet.
Perhaps we take it back to the tavern that Neck is staying at, and we look.
Oleyna, from your check that you did of it,
Mhm.
whatever magic is binding this is beyond any of you.
I wouldn't have any inclination as to what type of magic it is, would I?
No, it's
Old.
You wouldn't know what type it is because you've never experienced this type of magic before.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we bring it with us and perhaps...
Everyone can do like a history check for me.
$19.
12.
Woo!
Yeah, 16.
Woo!
I'm so smart.
Bode's got a 22!
Okay. So anyone who got above a 15, you would know that Komdov isn't known for its arcane arts. It's not known for its arcane shops. However, Dunbrig is. You know that there are many arcane shops in Dunbrig. There are many arcane practicers. There's an entire college dedicated to teaching the arcane arts to students. If there is anywhere that you are able to get answers about how to open this book and what it is likely going to be in Dunbrig.
How interested would you all be in perhaps going to Dunbrig and perhaps finding out somebody who does know what this book does and how to open it?
I mean,
surely, Neck, you would be interested in that.
I mean, that's where the caravan is heading. But
Yes.
also, I will probably know people that can help us figure out what is in this book.
Excellent.
Yeah, all right.
Well, Neka, you're a capable warrior. I suppose that you should keep an eye on this just in case somebody comes looking for it.
That's why it's in my pack.
Good. I'm glad that I came up with that idea.
Not at all. It was already in my pack.
I don't know what you're
Steam
saying.
baby.
I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, this is dreadfully boring conversation. Moving on. Should we try and get out of here?
So beyond the altar, you do notice two skeletal bodies. Perhaps the remnants of adventurers searching for treasure who had met their end at the hands of the slain last golems. And all that remain are bones. However, a backpack sits next to one and a pouch sits next to the other.
Oleyna would like to go look at that backpack.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
It is an 18 on the die plus 1, so 19 total.
Okay. So you find in the backpack 60 gold pieces, 50 feet of rope, a bag of caltrops, 2 potions of healing, a medallion of thought, a tomb of clear thought, and the needle of mending.
Can you send this to me, please?
I sure can.
That would be great, thank you. She's going to give one of those potions of healing to Eilif right away.
I'm gonna pocket it. I'm gonna need it later.
And then she's going to pocket the rest. Finders keepers.
Is going to look at the pouch.
Moss will.
Roll me an investigation check.
12.
Okay, that's enough. You find in a heap in the this seems to be like the treasure that this person was carrying around. You find 27 gold pieces, 12 silver pieces, 40 copper pieces, 2 bloodstones worth 50 gold pieces each, a star rose quartz worth 50 gold pieces, and a moonstone worth 25 gold pieces.
All right, I think I got all that, but can you send that to me also, just in case?
I sure can. I'm actually going to add you guys to something right now. Oop. Here you go. That's for you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
Once Moss picks up the pouch, he wants to walk towards the windows. Can he see out of them at all?
Nope. There is actually it's just stone behind it. Whatever the light had seemed to be emanating from it was actually coming from the golems and the power of the golems.
He's just gonna kind of run his hand across the wall.
How are you feeling?
Moss is frustrated and sad at the moment. He was hoping to maybe find something. He thought that the arrival of the bird at the moment, right when they find a portal, essentially, to go somewhere else, maybe there was some sort of fortuitous or a god stepping in to help give him hope and a path to try to find something. And he's pretty downtrodden at the moment that he doesn't feel like he got really anything out of this whole endeavor.
Okay.
Would that be visible on Moss's face?
Yeah, he's been pretty lethargic ever since the bird incident.
I think Oleyna would perhaps this is a chance for Neck and Eilif to see like maybe a softer side of Oleyna, and she'll go up to Moss and sort of put her arm around his shoulder and pull him in close, put her head on his shoulder and say, it's, you know, it's all right, darling. We're on a track nonetheless, but a strange one.
Everywhere we go, people have seen her. No one has seen her in years. How does someone disappear like that?
It's an excellent question, Moss, but we must persist. Shall we not?
He's gonna kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Eilif's gonna kind of quickly just pipe up and go. If you're looking into it, I may know somebody who can help. At Dunbrick as well.
At that, Moss kind of perks up ever so slightly and kind of gives you a head nod and tosses the fanny pack to you, and then starts walking towards the mirror.
Grab it. Follow behind Moss, and I'll give you like a pat on the back. And then start digging through, and then just grading the like stones. This one's ugly. Hate this one. Just making my way out.
You especially hate the bloodstones, Eilif.
I hate them. Nasty.
Would anyone like to do anything else before you leave this chamber?
Becca's just been waiting to leave. He's pretty much just been.
Can I give it like a once-over to see if there's any runes or writings or anything?
I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing here. Whoever was here, whoever had built this place, whatever this place is, it was only to be used to protect this book. And I will say, you as a party can't help but wonder if this is what the changeling had been after. To go through such lengths to hide something like this, to keep it guarded by glass golems, which is something none of you have ever seen before. This must be very important. This must be a very important book, despite the fact that it seems very unassuming. Everything else is pointing to the fact that this must be very important.
You say important. Oleyna thinks valuable. And goes back through the mirror exactly the way she came. Very strangely. Yeah, it's T-posing. She's T-posing and walking very mechanically.
Okay. Do all of you walk backwards through the mirror the way that you came in?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You would have no problem going back up through, you have no problem going through the mirror, then going back up through the temple the way that you came. As you go up through the entrance, you notice that dusk is beginning to settle, and strangely, there's no sign of the little druid who is standing guard over the temple. If she had come back, she's not here now. And the party now has the opportunity, you may either sail back the rest of the way to Comdove to stay the night in comfort, or you may camp here on the beach.
It wouldn't be a terribly long journey back, would it?
No, you'd be back. So dusk is beginning to fall, but you would be back probably within like three hours. So I would say it's maybe equivalent to about 5 o'clock. So you'd be back around 8.
I think Oleyna would look to the party and say, I would much prefer to sleep in a bed tonight. I'm not the best at camping.
Agreed. I would leave a little note for the little druid and just write in, we didn't go in, went to find stuff.
Okay. You just like tack it on like a pillar or something?
Yeah, I'll just like, I guess she didn't like it when we hurt the earth, so I'm just gonna tie it around like a tree.
Okay. You all begin your journey back to Comdove, rowing through the Loch Yora, a rather uneventful trip back, and that is where we will take our break. So stick around, y'all. We'll be back in just a few. I have to pee so bad. So
Me too.
stick around. We'll be right back.
Go.
everyone. We are back. Thanks for waiting. We last left our group before break, heading back to Comdov by their little mini dinghy. Little dinghy. So I imagine that it's probably Neck and Eilif rowing.
Moss is in the back, still feeling kind of dejected, and at one point he will actually probably lay his head on Oleyna's shoulder.
Yeah.
As you guys row up to the dock, you see a familiar Water-Genasi standing there, tapping her foot. This is Talia, the dock master, and she seems to be waiting for you specifically.
Hello.
She looks at like the pretend watch on her wrist. Made it back just in time, it seems.
Things got a bit turned around. You know, we're not quite navigators like yourself, so you know.
It's a straight line.
Do I look like I follow anything that might be considered straight lines, dear?
She looks you up and down. No.
You could find out at the Ladies' Embrace.
I'm spoken for, but thanks.
By who?
Suit yourself.
No one you would know. And she looks at Eilif.
Anyway, we brought your boat back, so goodbye, I suppose.
She has a couple of her workers begin to tie up the dinghy and kind of waves you off like, yeah, pleasure doing business with you, bye.
Before you leave, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard tale of sailors or anyone from the waters speaking of any sort of mechanical or magical birds or things giving them messages?
Are you high?
Not yet.
No, I've never heard a mechanical bird? Is that what you said? A mechanical bird?
That is what I said.
No, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. No.
Thank you. And Moss will walk away.
She like gives you like a sideways glance, like what a bunch of freaks, and oversees her workers as you guys leave the docks, leave the dockyard.
Woman. Oleyna sees that as a challenge. Spoken for my ass.
Where do you guys go?
Oleyna's gonna look at Neck and say, well, I suppose we'll see you in the morning.
Yes, you will. Be outside your place again.
Very good. Well, rest well, I suppose, Neck.
I will.
Yeah, I gotta go to the Flaming Goblet, so.
All right.
Are you going to do that today, or are you going to wait till the morning, Eilif?
I guess I could wait till the morning.
Doesn't matter. You could do either. Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'll wait till morning.
Okay. As you're walking, you all are walking in the same direction as the Fishmonger Inn and the Ladies' Embrace are within the same kind of the same area. And just before you're about to fork off, you do see a familiar a tiefling walk by you. This would be Moxie of Moxie's Menagerie. And she sort of waves you down. Hey, where you guys been?
Running errands, mostly.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna be leaving tomorrow morning, so if you still want to travel with us,
Yes.
we will be meeting at the town gates.
Right. Well, see you there then, dear Moxie.
All right, she gives you a wave, and she actually looks at Neck and is like, "You heading to the fishmonger?"
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
and then that is where you guys will split off, and Neck and Moxie will make their way to the fishmonger inn, probably in a weirdly awkward silence. Or rather, I would imagine Moxie is kind of talking to you, but not getting much in return.
I mean, I'll talk on the walk.
Okay. So where are you from?
Brig. How about you?
Oh, kind of all over the place. Here, there, wherever they need me.
Yeah, kind of same.
And then she'll kind of like look up at you as you're walking and be like, "You a cop?"
No.
All right. She gets a little bit more chatty after that, as you do walk to the fishmonger inn, and we will cut to the other group as y'all walk to the ladies' embrace.
Oleyna, as they're walking, I would imagine she's, kind of every so often doting on Moss and trying to keep his spirits up, but she's also looking over Eilif to ensure that she is not dying anymore.
Mhm.
I imagine Oleyna's gone into like mother hen mode and like sort of keeping both of them on either side and close at hand.
Quite a day.
That it has. Eilif, my dear. I can't help but be curious. Your boss,
Mhm.
what sort of work is it that you do for him?
But it was needed. This, that,
Mm-hmm.
another thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is it like a gang? Are you in a gang?
No.
Seems kind of like a gang.
I just do whatever he tells me. It's my
Oh, like odd jobs that are not evil?
yeah. I guess it's more like I like pick things up,
Uh-huh.
and I like help people move.
Very good. Curious. Okay. Well, for what purpose? What does he do? What's with the red sashes and whatnot? What is that all about? I just need to know. I'm sorry. I'm very curious. I'm a curious woman by nature.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't believe you. Can I insight check that?
Yeah. Eilif,
To
roll
make-
your whatever roll you want to make for that.
It's an 18. What's my insight? Where is insight? I would love to find it. +6. I think I
24.
did. Yeah. Good job at mathing.
I guess I'll do like deception. 20.
Oleyna, you're a liar. You know a liar when you see one. Eilif is not telling you the truth, and you're sure that you're not going to be able to get it out of her, not at this point.
Curious. Okay, very curious. And she's gonna sort of like glance at Moss, like, I'm gonna dig on this. I think Moss at this point will know when Oleyna has like a purpose and like wants to know something, and will do what she can to sort of figure it out. She sort of gets that twinkle in her eyes.
Moss will return the look, just kind of give you a slight smirk,
Well,
and kind of nod his head.
interesting. Anyway, moving on, I suppose we'll head towards the lady's embrace, and she just kind of continues walking along. She's a little bit frustrated, but
Okay.
has to kind of bide her time.
Are you going to be working or resting this evening?
I took no damage. I feel fine. I will be working.
That is fair. I feel I have taken emotional damage today. I may retire early.
I'll pull out like the little pack of like cigarettes that I had, and I'll like offer one to him.
Thank you. Moss will take the cigarette and kind of pocket it for the moment.
And I'm gonna light it. Just, it helps with the stress sometimes.
Well, I can give it a shot. And Moss will also request the lighter to light his as he walks.
I'll light it. I'll light it for you. Just losing someone can be strange, definitely.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what's worse, losing someone and knowing they're gone, or losing someone and having no idea what happened to them.
I've experience with both, and not knowing makes it worse.
Well, I'm not gonna find anything out tonight, so... Thank
Ribs?
you. You know what? Ribs sound great.
Wonderful.
As you all return to the ladies' embrace, and Eilif and Moss go off and partake in some delicious, supple ribs. Oleyna, once you reach your rooms for the night, there is an envelope waiting on the nightstand for you.
Oh, a letter from an admirer, I hope, and she'll go and open it.
Not quite a letter, but from an admirer, certainly. It is the contract for Lord Aelin and your companionship with him.
She'll look it over and make sure, she's not getting ripped off for her own services.
So it's a fairly standard contract. This contract is entered into on the 22nd of Ao in the year 974 PR between Aelin of House Kotira, Steward of the Ridge, Lord of Farador Castle, the patron, and Oleyna Sparrow, the companion. The purpose: the patron and companion enter into this contract with mutual consent for the purpose of establishing a consensual companionship. Terms of companionship: A, the companion agrees to provide companionship, conversation, and mutual support to the patron in a consensual and respectful manner. B, both parties agree that any intimate encounters shall be based on the free and informed consent of all parties involved. Confidentiality: both parties agree to keep all matters related to this contract confidential unless otherwise agreed upon. Respect and dignity: both parties agree to treat each other with respect, empathy, and consideration at all times. Termination: either party may terminate this contract at any time for any reason by providing written notice to the other party. Compensation: in consideration of the companion's time and companionship, the patron agrees to provide 100 gold pieces per week in a manner agreeable to both parties. Legal compliance: both parties agree to comply with all applicable laws and regulations governing their activities. Amendment: this contract may be amended only in writing and signed by both parties. And at the very bottom, you see Lord Aelin's signature with a line indicating where you should sign.
I would imagine there is quill and ink for her to sign there on the table. And upon reading this, she finds this suitable and will sign it. And is there anybody in the ladies' embrace that she could send off for an errand, like an errand boy type?
You would know that you'd be able to hand this letter off to your attendant, the one that has been assigned to you, Vivian. Mm-hmm. And she will look at the letter, look at the seal on the letter, and know instantly who this is going to, and give you sort of like a discreet smile, letting you know that she will take care of it.
Thank you, darling.
Of course.
And is there anybody of note who might be looking for company this evening?
She will let you know there are several patrons with deep pockets, none that you are familiar with. However, you may give me a D4 roll.
Okay. It's a 3.
Okay. You are able to take on 3 companions for the night. One was looking for just dinner and conversation. So you may add that gold. And then the other 2 were looking for more intimate encounters with you.
About an hour each.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do some mathing. So that is 230 gold. 215
Yes.
gold. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Great.
And as you bed down for the night, content with the gold that you made, Oleyna,
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
as you bed down for the night, content with the gold that you have made, as you close your eyes, you feel the brush of a hand against your cheek. And when you open your eyes, you are in the forest. The figure cradles your cheek in one of their clawed hands, carefully, adoringly. They could so easily slice your pretty face, but they handle you like a fine piece of art, fragile and precious. You look at them, and you don't know what's behind the skull that masks their face, whether it's man, beast, or something else entirely. But perhaps you can't find it in yourself to care. I've caught you, he murmurs, voice deep and velvety. You want to sink into that gentle timbre of it. You want to wrap yourself in it. It feels comforting and warm. It feels like home. And for the first time, Oleyna, you feel like you have the ability to act in these dreams, the ability to say something.
Oleyna will ask, who are you?
You hear the chuckle from behind the mask. A friend, someone to help.
Help me how? With this book business? With what?
With the book, with power, with money, with whatever your heart can desire.
And why would you help me?
Let me aid you, as I have time and time again, little dove. And just like that, you are brought back to memories of your youth, of the years spent on the streets, starving and barely clinging to life. Flashes of a man, face shrouded in shadow, crouching down in front of you, a gold coin flipping over his knuckles as you watched on, fascinated, before it disappeared with a flourish of his hands, reappearing as he pulled it out from behind your ear before offering it to you. You marvel at the display, hesitantly accepting the coin wide-eyed. The man smooths back your hair, not caring at all that you're filthy. You are more clever than this little dove. And in the next breath he was gone, like a breeze in the wind, leaving you with a gold coin clenched between your grubby little fingers and a desire to prove to this man how clever you are.
It's you. How are you here if you were there, and how long have you been watching me?
Always. I've always been here with you, watching, protecting you from any harm that might come to you. You are precious, and I desire to help you so long as you help me in return.
And what is that return? You should know, if you've watched me all these years, that I do in fact know that nothing is free.
All I desire is freedom, darling.
From where? Are you trapped here?
Trapped somewhere, but you could help me escape.
And where is that?
He tilts his head as though he wants to say but might be unable to. That is something that you will find out in time, in due time, sooner rather than later. All I need is for you to make this promise to me, and so it will be. And He leans in towards you. You feel the cold surface of the deer skull against your own forehead, and you could feel his breath upon your lips as he whispers, "Give yourself to me."
I imagine Oleyna in this moment of comfort and even confusion feels a draw. Almost like there is no other choice.
Magnetism. Yes,
Mhm.
He is familiar. He is something of your past that has never truly gone away, something that has been with you all this time. And he is home to you. This meadow is home to you. He is part of that. He has proven that time and time again, even when you are not aware of it.
Very quietly, Oleyna will whisper back, "I promise."
You feel the rush of power at your acceptance. You felt magic before. There's always a distinct taste to it. Moss's magic is earthy like raindrops on your tongue. Next magic is smoky, burnt, and charred. This, though, this tastes like metallic, like blood filling your mouth. It's euphoric. And then you wake up.
Oleyna's going to sort of check herself when she wakes and sort of rub her hands together and checks her tongue. And she'll sit on the edge of the bed and she will sort of try and recollect the dream, almost as if she just wanted a little bit longer with it.
As you wake up, before when you had these dreams of this figure in the forest, when you would wake up, you would feel empty. Now, though, you can feel his presence deep inside of you. And perhaps for the first time in your life, you don't feel so lonely.
Well, that is an overwhelming feeling for Oleyna.
Mhm.
She is an extremely guarded person, and by design, she has created this loneliness. And it's almost like the loneliness has been taken away from her unwillingly. And on top of that, the comfort that she feels from it. And Oleyna will sort of double over where she sits and will openly sob for a moment before pulling herself together and trying to ready herself for the day before she meets with everyone else. And when she does, I think that maybe not Eilif, but certainly Moss would maybe see something has sort of struck her emotionally.
Would anyone like to react to that?
Good morning. You seem a little different this morning. Everything all right? No one tried anything.
No, of course not. No. Last night was quite successful, of course.
As always with you.
Of course. And she is lying, but I would imagine she's probably better at it than most. And
Moss is very good at lying too. That's why you guys are
Yes.
such good friends. So
Pals.
if you would like to roll the appropriate skill check, and Moss can roll an insight.
For deception, it's a 19.
No, Moss rolled poorly. Oh, can Moss use one of his advantages?
Absolutely.
That was worse.
Okay.
Well,
Moss, you sort of, as Oleyna says this to you, maybe she had a rough night. Maybe one of the clients perhaps got a little out of line, but Oleyna would never admit that to you. She would never admit when something is out of her, kind of out of her power. That is a big draw for companions like her, is the control that you have in that situation. Whether the patrons think that they have the control or not, the control really lies in the hands of the companions, of the workers. And you think maybe something might have rattled her, but you have been traveling together now enough that maybe you trust when she says she's okay and nothing's wrong, or maybe you don't.
well, it's nothing. Small amount of breakfast couldn't fix.
Right.
We have a
Yes.
lot of traveling to do today.
Idle?
Total.
Turtle's going crazy right now. Sorry. Oleyna will sort of nod and say, right, let's not dawdle, as I'm sure that the caravan will only wait for so long for us.
Yeah, after you.
And she will look to Eilif and sort of get a nod from her as well.
Yeah, I just have to go pick up a package.
Right.
You all walk out of the ladies' embrace, and Neck
I
is standing there waiting for you. Yes,
Okay.
Eilif.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, can I make an insight check just to kind of gauge the
Go for it.
feeling between the two? I'm not gonna say anything. I just want to see what I can
Yeah,
gather.
of course.
Plus 3. It's gonna be a 22.
Okay. So it's not enough to know that Oleyna is lying. However, it is enough to know that something's occurred, something has happened, something has changed. And Moss is aware of it, and he's choosing not to press the issue any further.
Sounds good.
Okay. You all leave the ladies' embrace. Neck, I believe, is probably standing outside, probably as though he's been waiting for longer than he has wanted to.
Truly.
What do you all do?
Oh. Hello, Neck. Hello. Well, I believe Eilif needs to pick up a package. And then we'll head out.
I can run and grab it, or you can come along.
Just make it quick. Caravan doesn't wait long. Then he'll make his way to the caravan.
I might
Right.
actually
Second
go.
time I've heard that.
I might actually run with you if that's all right. I'd like to say goodbye to the little Kinku.
Only you knew her name.
If only I knew her name, but that's why I'm going.
You can ask it.
I think
Maybe
Oleyna will go with Neck to the caravan. She wants to just contemplate.
Okay, so you split off into two groups. Eilif and Moss heading towards the Flaming Goblet, and Neck and Oleyna heading towards the city gates where you know the caravan will be waiting. We will go ahead and cut to Eilif and Moss walking through the door of the Flaming Goblet. It is morning time. It is not as busy. It's open because they do serve breakfast and such. However, not as not as lively as it had been upon your first visit. You do see Lacken behind the bar. The bard is sitting on the stage, sort of swinging her legs back and forth. Clearly, she hasn't really felt the need to start performing yet, given the lack of patrons currently. You do see, as you walk in, a lizard folk is kind of propped up in a chair next to the door, bearing a red bandana around his neck. However, he is snoozing. So you think that he might be the bouncer, essentially, for this place, but probably doesn't feel the need to be actively on duty at this point. And in the corner table, with his back to the wall so he could see the entire place, sits Saris.
Great. I'll like point to the Kenku and just, I suppose, you want to go talk to them?
Moss will make his way over there and kind of say hello, but he's going to keep a sharp eye on Eilif.
So we'll go ahead and have your little conversation with the Kenku first. She spots you, and her entire, like, she lights up, her feathers sort of ruffle up happily. And she opens her beak, and little whistles and chimes start to go off. Clearly a symbol that she's excited to see you. She's happy to see you again.
Ah, good morning, my friend. We'll be leaving today, and I just wanted to come wish you the best.
Oh, she kind of, upon you mentioning that you're leaving, she kind of looks a little sad, and you hear like a slight, like, low-tuned whistle come from her. But then she gives you a one second kind of look, and she ruffles through her bag, and she comes out with a little trinket. It seems to be something carved. It looks like a little bird carved out of wood.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
She'll point, and you see, sort of at the tail end of the bird is a little hole. It looks like some kind of whistle.
May I? And he'll reach to pick it up, and he will give it a little blow.
Despite the crude outer appearance of this little carving, it lets out a nicely fine-tuned whistle. It's quite delightful, and she kind of trills in unison with it, clearly happy that it works.
It is incredible. I shall keep it with me always. And I never was able... What is your name?
She opens her beak again, and you hear the sound of a strumming lute, and she kind of mimics the strumming because she doesn't have her lutes kind of set off to the side right now. Yeah, she mimics that noise and the motions.
Strum?
Ah! And she lets out another happy noise.
It was an absolute pleasure to meet you. I hope to come back soon and see you again. And thank you very much for the gift.
She'll kind of pat you on the shoulder, and in a very it sounds like painful and croaky and like forceful. Hope find mom.
With that, Moss will kind of somewhat clam up a little bit, but he will open his arms as if asking if it's okay to hug.
She will wrap her arms around you, and another happy trill comes out of her beak, and
he will reciprocate the hug and kind of give her a little bow.
You seem to have made her day. She was very happy to see you off.
Pleasure to meet you again. And Moss will begin not getting too close, but trying to get as close as he can get to whatever Eilif's doing without causing too much of a ruckus.
Okay. So you're gonna give me a stealth check. You want to do like stealthing? Like, would you like to try to eavesdrop?
I would like to try to eavesdrop, but I don't. Oh yeah, we're gonna try it.
Okay, you may give me a stealth check, but this is going to be made with disadvantage because this bar is basic. There's maybe like 2 or 3 other patrons here, so it's not like you can kind of blend in with the crowd. If you'd like to change your decision, that's fine. But okay,
You know what? We're gonna.
you can use an advantage to even it out.
I have been rolling so poorly today. This is gonna go bad. Oh. You know what? We're gonna try it anyway. We'll use an advantage. That's an 11, and then the advantaged one is a 19.
Okay. Eilif, please make me a perception check.
Please roll below 19.
It's on nat 1.
Okay. So oddly enough, Saris is stirring his morning coffee with the spoon that you had given him, and clearly he has not ingested any of it because he is groggy, he is grumpy, something that you don't usually see that side of him. So it is interesting, Eilif, to see him sort of grumpy in the morning light. And neither of you notice as Moss sort of takes a seat at one of the adjacent tables, his back towards you, but an ear keenly listening. Eilif. Hey.
Sir. You're,
It's early.
Yeah, I can see that. Late night?
I mean, is it a late night if you never ever slept, or?
I suppose it's like an early morning then.
Yeah, that one then. Yeah.
Alright, well, why didn't you sleep? What's wrong with you?
It's something I had to take care of. He'll kind of glance over towards Lacken, and then like shake his head. Nothing for you to worry about. I have the package here, and he'll kind of reach down to the side of his chair where you will see something had been laying, and he'll set it on the table in front of him. It's a longish package, but it is rather small. So I would say it's maybe like 1.5 feet long. It's wrapped, but most of the things that you have delivered before that have been actual physical objects have been wrapped. Do you pick it up?
Yeah. I'll like slide it over to myself and like take off my backpack.
Mm-hmm. If you want to do an investigation check, feel free to like kind of discern what it might be.
Yeah, because I don't know what it is. I'm just a guy. I'm just a buddy. Investigation, correct? 18.
Based on the size, shape, and weight of the box, you kind of feel it in your hand a little bit as you're tucking it into your backpack. You suspect that this might be some kind of scroll, maybe?
Okay. Awesome.
Sarah sort of like a little bit as he takes another sip of his coffee. Client's name is, he goes by Einrel. Human, I think. Blonde. You'll find him in the Seagate district in Dunbrig. What's the name of that place? It's a bookstore. I think it's called something stupid, like Bookends.
Got it. The name again?
Einrel. Henrel. It's one of those stupid names where the H is silent.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not his real name, but
Yeah, it never is, but you would think they'd pick better names.
yeah, I'd go with something a little bit more edgier, honestly.
Yeah. I just
Like Havoc.
Havoc's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like like overdone, but like Raven for like if
Oh,
you're gonna
yeah.
be secretive, be
Yeah, it's like
secretive.
that's a good
you know?
spy name, that is.
Yeah. But got it. Yeah. Great. What do I do if they try to hire me? Just kind of like joking.
You say no, you're spoken for.
I don't know about that.
He kind of looks at you like, don't do this to me so early in the morning.
I'm gonna like grab his coffee and like sip it and then put it back.
Oh, come on.
I'll buy you another one if it bothers you so much.
Oh, it's just I needed all of that. Been a long
I
night.
took a sip.
Yeah, and I needed that sip.
I'll look over at Larkin, I believe his name was.
Larkin,
and I'll just
yeah.
like, Larkin. And I'll be like, can I get another one of those to like go?
Larkin comes over and he just hands you like an actual, just a mug of coffee.
Okay, so I'll switch him so I can take his mug.
Okay.
And then I put his spoon back in.
He starts to stir it again. Just, it's black coffee. You don't know why he was stirring it.
Yeah, I just to cool it off.
Something like that.
Weird guy. Yeah,
maybe to just keep himself awake, honestly. So something to do. Right, then is anything else you need to report back?
I did give him the note beforehand, correct?
You had, would you have slipped it? You said you slipped it into his pocket during at the
Into his, like,
docks the day
palm.
before.
Yeah.
He will take it out of his, it's unopened. You see that it is unopened.
Okay.
Is this a contingency plan or something?
Something like that. To be opened at your, I suppose, in case of my untimely death, or I suppose at your discretion. I can't really make you tell
He's
you when to
gonna-
open it.
He's gonna tuck it back into his like inner pocket of his jacket. Well, I guess I'm never really gonna open it then, so.
We shouldn't be so sure.
He's gonna like look at you like he hadn't seen you like bare fist like fight a man before.
Yeah, I did smash a man. Smash a man's face in. It's fine.
Multiple, actually.
It was 3. It's not that big. It's not that many.
You're very tiny. It was a little concerning at first, but anyway, you'll be fine.
No, I'm sure I will be, but it's just in case. How much do you trust that investigator up in Dunbrick?
Well, he is the best around. Couldn't probably ask for anyone better to search for you. The connections he has go beyond what we in the Ring of Ash have. And it is quite the favor he's doing for me by helping you out, so.
I appreciate it. I'll say that, when they are inevitably found, I suppose I would like to keep you close. As close as possible.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so.
Great. Maybe next time we meet, I'll have some information for you. But besides that, the people I'm running with now confuse me a bit. If I can get some more information.
Weird bunch, huh?
Yeah, one of them is definitely a companion. One of them doesn't talk. The other one is a boy looking for his mother. So I'm incredibly confused.
Boy looking for his mother.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. Who was his mother?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't want to tell you, if only because like it feels like maybe I shouldn't.
All right, well, that's your discretion, I guess. I can't force it out of you.
Right.
So I'm heading south. I'll probably cut through Nice Edge. So if you need me, I'll probably be around there. I'm sure we'll meet up again. We usually do cross paths every now and again. But if you need anything, he'll look over to Lack and he'll be able to reach me.
All right. Not a problem. I'm gonna take out one of the little bloodstones and like set it on the table, and just like push it to him. I thought you'd like the color.
He grabs it and kind of twists it around. He's like, "You mean you don't like the color, so you're trying to get rid of it?"
Yeah, it's ugly. Am I right?
He holds it up, and it's literally the exact same color of the mantle on his shoulder.
It looks good on you. It's just I can't stand it. It's not for me.
Just because you don't wear our colors doesn't mean that you're not part of the group, you know.
Potato, potato. I like to believe I'm not.
Well, I mean, regardless, you have the tattoo, so.
Yep.
Can't get rid of that.
That was on my flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, anything I should know about the ring in Dunbrig?
You know, our reach doesn't extend quite that far. We, of course, have some people up there, but don't go making enemies while you're up there. There won't be a lot of people that would be able to help you.
All right. Terrifying. Okay, well, package will be delivered, and would you like to know the information that the investigator gives me?
He looks at you. In this moment, do you want to give him this information? Is this like something where you're trying to make him a part of your life in some way?
Yeah.
Like it's important to you. Okay. He looks at you and he sees that it's less about what he wants and more about what you want, and not in a bad way. And he'll nod. Yeah, if it's important to you, then yeah, of course I'd like to know.
Right. And I'll like pat my hand. I assume he's like still stirring. His like hands are on the table, and I'll just like, as I stand up, I'll like let my hand linger on his for a little bit and like squeeze it, and then I'll be on my way.
As like you like go to like leave, he does sort of grab your hand and kind of squeeze it, and it's almost like that lingering of you pulling your hand away and him kind of almost hesitantly letting go. And he'll wave you off. Take care, Eilif.
Will do, sir. And I'll look at Moss and go, let's go.
And
Caravans
Moss,
don't wait forever.
Please make me a perception check.
13.
So during that conversation, you did make out that Eilif is supposed to be delivering a package to someone in the Seagate district in Dunbrig. You heard the mention of a letter that Eilif had given Saris, and that he hasn't opened it. And you do note the sort of weird, awkward dance the two are currently engaging with. That is something that like a blind person would be able to see.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything else you two would do in the Flaming Goblet?
I'll hug the other bloodstone at the Kinku.
She catches it in her beak and kind of happily dances.
Right.
And then she eats it.
She's a bird.
Wasn't a snack, was money, but all right. And I'll just start leaving.
Whatever makes her happy, right?
I'm not gonna tell her what to do.
Neck and Oleyna, do you guys have any sort of conversation as you are making your way to the caravan to wait for your two companions?
I think that Oleyna, for the first time since Neck has met her, is like silent and thoughtful. So she wouldn't outright like speak to Neck.
Neck is just happy walking in silence.
This is the most awkward, like, contemplative, like, walk ever. But no, yeah, if he doesn't say anything to her, she's probably not going to say anything to him.
Okay. So as you two head towards the caravan, you obviously reach the caravan before the other two do. You see everyone is kind of prepping. You know, not everyone is ready yet. Moxie has her wagon all done up. She is probably the one that is so ready to get a move on. This has been encroaching on her business. She is a traveling merchant. She needs to travel to make money, and not traveling means she's not making money. Kalala is sitting next to her. Marv and his daughter are just kind of hithering around. You see the Heartstones are ready in their wagon. Tilcog, the gnomish trader of exotic animals, has his wagon. You hear the little critters in the back of it, sort of making little noises and stuff. And yeah, the rest of them are gathered. Jet and Som are there. Som looks annoyed. Jet looks even more annoyed. He kind of always has like it looks like he's always smelling something bad.
I want to go to Jet and Som.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, hey. It's got you two in a bad bunch.
Jet looks at you and is like, we should have been in Dunbrig by now. And Som will kind of like look at him and be like, no, we shouldn't. It's going to take longer than that. And Jet is just refusing to hear Som at this point.
I'll look at Jet and be like, bro, you're telling me.
I swear, this holdup it's too much. I'm going to get reamed when I get back to the archives.
Archives?
Yes, I work for the archives. You know this.
I know. It's been a while since I've been there.
It's a dusty place.
Pretty dusty. One time I tried to sweep it up a little bit when I was younger. Forever. Barely got like a corridor done.
Jet is bored of this conversation. And Som kind of gives you like a little pat on the shoulder. He's been dealing with Jet for quite some time. He gets it.
I'll look at Som and be like,
Som, remembering that you unarmed him of his own weapon, suddenly stops patting you on the shoulder and then gives you a firm shove away from him. And coming down the path towards the gate, you see Eilif and Moss, the last two members of the caravan, rejoining the group. Anything you all would like to say to each other or do before we set off?
As we get back, Moss would like to look for Oleyna.
Oleyna's probably just sitting in the back of one of the wagons. If any of the wagon keepers would not mind, and she's sort of just swinging her legs.
There's actually going to be one of the halfling herbalist's children is also kind of sitting on the back of the wagon, swinging her legs. So when you come up and join her, she kind of waves at you. She's got like some toast in her mouth that her mother probably made her for breakfast that she's been gnawing on for probably an hour now.
I imagine Oleyna's like kind of grossed out by kids, but like she's like fine with this. Like she's that's all right.
Moss will kind
It
of
was a long night for her.
walk up to the back of the wagon, kind of grab the side of it, see if he can just not necessarily.
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Right.
Onions?
Am I
No.
breaking?
I think
Not
you're
for
breaking
me.
onions.
Oh.
Oh,
I think he's breaking.
okay.
He's fine for He's
I
fine
hear
for
him.
You
me.
still hear me,
He's
Bo?
fine for me.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Mournians?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just gonna continue. Let
Okay.
me know if I should stop. He's gonna kind of hang off the side of the wagon a little bit. Basically, right now to Moss, he's feeling like he accomplished something. So it's almost like he's seeking approval, but he will kind of quietly regale Oleyna of what he was able to discern from the conversation.
Hmm. Curious. Well, a step forward, aren't we having?
Well, it's always good to know what others know. The only way to get ahead of them.
Absolutely. Well done, Moss.
And he will just kind of smile and let go and begin walking beside the wagon.
You all set off, finally back on path to the capital, or whatever your reasons are for traveling there. And that is where we will end today's session. And my gift to you all, you level up!
Woo!
So happy.
So do we level up now, or do you want us to wait until we do a long rest?
You may level, you technically leveled up during like your long rest the night before.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Thank you, creature.
Wow, creature.
Wow.
Huge.
Woo!
So you all have an additional 2 advantages, one from the advantages that the subset ad had done before, and now from creature.
Thanks, creature.
There you go.
All right.
Oh,
So
really great people got subs out of that.
yeah. So we are ending today's episode as you are venturing further through Tyrfian. Let's do our little outros and tell us who you are, where we can find you, if we can find you anywhere. Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. Obviously, I'm playing Eilif. You can find me on all social medias at TheYellowCubes. I don't really post anything, but usually you can find me lurking in Bones or Myriad's chat, just being overall just kind of mean to them. I also stream sometimes. I'm gonna start streaming a lot of For the King. For the King 2 just came out, so I'm really looking forward to that. You can find me as at TheYellowCubes with an extra S at the end. So stop by that and watch me play that game. It's real fun.
Mournian.
I am Mournian. I play Moss here. I, again, most of the time can be found in one of these lovely individuals' chats, being a general nuisance and pain in their butt. Apart from that, you can find me here every Saturday, and then starting, if I'm not wrong, Miriam Bones next Friday, on Friday nights on Bleak Season for a new lovely little series we'll be doing there, which I'm very excited to be a part of.
Joel.
I'm so tempted every time to steal Bones' intro
Me too.
or outro. But it's me, Neck, who didn't get to wreck any spines today. So fuck.
No spines to be wrecked, unfortunately. I will make that adjustment for the next combat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Little Bones 309.
Hello, that's me. I'm LittleBones309. I'm your favorite indie gamer here on Twitch. You can find me all over the web as LittleBones309, checking out your favorite indie games. But tonight, I'll be over on my channel playing our AAA Saturday games, or otherwise known as Saturday Night Special. And City Skylines 2 just came out, so that's what we're doing. We're playing City Skylines 2. We're gonna make a city. Let chat participate in making some decisions, so that'll be a good time. And then this coming up week, I will be over on the Liching Hour for I won't. Biff Malibu will be on the Liching Hour for a little stint, doing his Kickstarter for Viva La Dungeon. And then I've got a very busy week, and also over on Bleak Season on Friday for that. And then you can find me all around the web playing TTRPGs with all my friends.
And hi, I'm Myriad. This is my channel. You're where you need to be. If you haven't followed, go ahead and follow. We do a lot of D&D stuff here. We do a lot of video games. This upcoming week, we may or may not be starting back up with our Strixjammer game over on Praetor's Rejects. It's always a toss-up. And if we are not, Monday night, you can find me here playing some video games. Tuesday and Wednesday, I will also be here doing some probably Baldur's Gate and Mass Effect 3. And then Thursday, catch me over on Evandale for Seekers of the Fall. Friday, we'll be over on Bleak. And then Saturday, we're back here, baby. So, yeah, this is my place. So, this is all me. So, yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the subs. You guys are amazing. And we will see you later. Stick around. We're going to go raid over into my friend Robbie, him and his friend are doing some homebrew items for D&D. So stick around. We're going to go right into them. See you in a bit. Bye.